What's going on, guys? Little update real fast. Just decided to do a meet April 11th up in Portland, Oregon. It'll be my first meet in wraps. Gonna do the 242 class again and see what I can do. It should be fun, learning how to use wraps and just learning how to work different things in different areas and get better every meet. So today we're going to talk about foundation building and why that's critical and why it's often overlooked. Foundation building is just more or less taking submaximal weights and lifting them for numerous sets, numerous reps with perfect technique. That's the key to building a solid foundation, is to taking weight anywhere between the RPE of a 7, 6, 8, 5 even, and making sure every rep is perfect and making sure that every rep is with the intent of the day. So if it's a speed day, you're doing every rep as explosive as possible. If it's a strength day, you're doing every rep to create as much force and power output as possible. But like I said, you don't want the weight to compromise the technique. So going too heavy is often one of the worst things you can do when trying to build a foundation. Foundation is, in my mind, a lot of hypertrophy work, a lot of work on weaknesses in certain individuals in certain areas that you have determined that you needed to work on. So a lot of the stuff is going to be just basic bodybuilding movements and basic compound movements. You see here I do a lot of bands and chains just because I'm at CSA and I have Jesse Burdick there to kind of guide me along the way. He's taught me a lot about conjugate and how to use accommodated resistance the right way, so I feel comfortable adding that into my program. But for most beginners and most foundation building, you don't really need a lot of this stuff. You just need a bar and some dumbbells and getting to work with perfect technique and a lot of reps. And like I said before, foundation building is often neglected by most novice lifters. They just want to go straight in there, max out, and see what they can do every single day, go to failure. And that's not really the intent of what you want to do. The intent is to perform each and every single rep with as much of a perfect technique as possible, so you're building the muscles you need to build and the work capacity you need to build in order to strive or thrive at a meet. The way I like to think about it is, the more, if it was a house or a building, the more cement you can lay down, the bigger the house, the bigger the building. So the more foundation you can build, the more foundation you can lay down as an individual lifter, the higher your peak's going to be. So taking the time to do this, it may not be fun, it may not be what you want to do, but sometimes being great at a sport isn't always going to be fun. It's not always going to be things you want to do, but it is something that is required in order for you to become great. Most of the great lifters have been at this for 10, 12, 15 years, some even 2 decades, perfecting their technique and building a solid foundation for them to put up the numbers you see now. So don't think that just because you see them training now, that doesn't really matter. You want to know what they did 10, 15 years ago when they first started out and why they're as good as they are. And I guarantee you a lot of them spent a lot of time building on their weaknesses and building a solid foundation. So if you like the video, guys, go ahead and subscribe, click the like button, follow me on Instagram at Tony Montgomery Jr. And until next time, guys, see ya.